In Wayne County's jail, some accused criminals are being let out the back door because the sheriff doesn't have room for them and money has never been tighter.
But is the county kissing away millions that could be used to keep inmates behind bars? Well, here's 7 Action News investigator Ross Jones with a story that might have you shaking your head tonight.
This is a story about public safety and the millions of dollars the county may be wasting that could keep accused criminals in jail. Metro Detroit has its share of accused criminals, but more and more these days, it's running out of places to put them.
I have 1,000 empty beds on any given day because I don't have the money to put deputies in the jail to open the floors.
And that's why any money wasted at the county's jail can mean the difference between a jail inmate on or off the street. Our investigation tonight shows they're wasting plenty. Last year, the county spent almost $12 million on overtime, the most on record. It's angered sheriff's officials who said they don't have enough officers to keep up with all the county's inmates. Insiders estimate they need between 42 and 50 new officers, and they say they've been asking for more manpower for years. Hiring those employees would be cheaper than paying all that overtime, and the sheriff's officials say they'd save at least $3 million.
Mathematically, it just doesn't make sense. We should be hiring younger officers.
But the man holding it up, they say, is County Executive Robert Facano. Back when he was county sheriff, he complained the sheriff's department was being way underfunded by the county CEO. But his tune has changed since then. He turned down several requests to be interviewed for this story, so we had to catch up with him at a senior citizens luncheon. How concerned are you about the excessive overtime costs in the jail?
Well, that's something that's being worked out. They're looking at it, and they're going to see what they do to do it within their budget. It's a budget issue.
Facano said Sheriff Napoleon agreed to this year's budget last summer, and that's true. But at the time he did, there were about 1,800 inmates in the county jail. Since then, that number has swelled to 2,100.
First of all, there hasn't been a request for actual bodies. When there's a request, we've already started to fill it.
They're being disingenuous when they tell you that.
Napoleon says Facano has underfunded his department big time and showed us these records. A request for 24 new cops was delayed for months, he says, and in this April letter, a sheriff's official calls Facano's jail budget unreasonable and impossible. Facano says that's not true.
I am telling you that everything has been reasonably done within the budget.
Why does the sheriff say otherwise?
Well, at this point, because he's over his budget.
Wasted money inside the jail can be felt on Wayne County streets. That $3 million is enough to house almost 60 accused criminals for a year. Today, the jail's letting plenty out. Are you comfortable with the people who are being let out of jail right now?
I don't know who's being let out of jail right now.
Well, here's a list. Inmates charged with crimes like breaking and entering, drug offenses, and even assaults. They're put out on electronic tethers like these so the county can make room for the worst of the worst. Bail agent Matt Maddock knows, and recent criminals have proven, that tethers are sometimes easy to escape from.
A lot of these people are very dangerous. When they cut their tether, I mean, they're not easy to find.
And it's not just the jail's bottom line that's taking a hit. The sheriff says excessive overtime taxes the limits of overworked officers. This union grievance blames exhaustion on the county's refusal to fill vacant budgeted positions.
I have officers who have gone and had medical reasons to say, I can't work this overtime. These officers are not working. I have to force people to work it.
But is politics partly to blame for this budget battle? Yes, says Detroit political consultant Eric Foster. When Warren Evans was sheriff, Facano fought his old nemesis tooth and nail for the same kinds of funds Napoleon is asking for. If he gives in to Napoleon...
Here comes the question. Why couldn't you have done that with Sheriff Evans? Why did you potentially sacrifice public safety for political gain?
Facano denies that politics plays any role here. He says more than 70% of the county's budget goes towards public safety. He said it's time to address the overtime issue and promised to review it after our interview. That's good news to Napoleon, but he's not holding his breath. To save money and make room last month, his jail let out 268 inmates.
We have some of the most dangerous people in America in my jail, and I think they should stay there.
This week, Facano's chief financial officer is set to meet with Sheriff Napoleon to find a solution to this overtime problem. Last month, they made a dent in it by graduating a new class of 24 officers, but officials say they need funding for a lot more. I'm Ross Jones, 7 Action News.